Okay, so it's been a while since I've made that tower TDS video. It was like, I think several months ago. And I figured I would make another one again, because there have been some changes to the towers. And my old tier list is pretty much very outdated at this point. Just a disclaimer that those are my choices, so your opinions might differ from mine. And there is nothing wrong with that, everyone can have their own opinions on the towers. Okay, so you're going to start from the F tier, which are like the worst towers of the worst. And thankfully there's only 2 towers in that spot. And it's going to be the rocket tier. Just, it doesn't need explanation why it's here. It's mostly bad damage and how expensive it is. It pretty much does no damage at all. And the second tower is the freezer. It's pretty much useless. It can be useful at like wave 30 on fallen mode because it can slow down the tank, it can freeze it, so it might be useful on that wave only, but that's about it. Okay, so we are moving up to the E tier, and there we have several towers that are still pretty bad. The first one being the mortar. It's just like rocket tier, but it can actually be useful if you spam level 0, but that's about how useful it can get. The next one is the hunter. The hunter, in all honesty, it's just bad. I don't like using it at all. I just don't like the tower at all. The next one is Commando. Very expensive and very bad. And that's pretty much all you need to know. And the archer also is like pretty bad. It can be used in the early game, but you need a lot of money to make it actually useful. And the next one is electroshocker. It's like freezer, but more useful, but still pretty bad. Okay, so we're in the D tier. The first tower on this tier is going to be Paintballer. Pretty bad overall, but can be used in the early game. The next one is First Blaster. It's also very bad. The freeze is worse than freezers, but it can actually deal some damage. Demoman, on the other hand, is also pretty bad, so also goes into the D tier. It's only good on max level if there are a lot of enemies in like one close space. And the next tower is the slasher. Is it the slasher or like something else? I don't know. Anyways, slasher is pretty bad. It's like, it can be used in the early game, but that's all about it. I don't like using it. This tower is like discount gladiator. Okay, that's all for the D tier. Now for the C tier. The first one is going to be the Cowboy. The Cowboy is it became kinda average after all the balancing. I don't like to use this tower anymore. It's still pretty good, but not only do you need a lot of time, like the match is going to take much longer if you use Cowboy. You will get more money than with Farm, but the game will just take way too long. I just don't like the tower. The next one is Normal Crook Boss. Normal Crook Boss is, in all honesty, pretty bad. The bodyguards that he spawns in are kinda garbage. And the placement limit is also like very bad. Same with the max level upgrade. This tower is not good. And the next one is the Pyromancer tower, which is like, it can do a lot of damage. I have no idea if it speeds up enemies or not anymore, but it's like, it depends on your situation if this tower is going to be good or not. The next tower is the Sniper. The Sniper is pretty good in hardcore because it can detect not only flying but also leads. But in like Molten and Fallen mode, it's still pretty good, but it just takes a lot of time to actually kill the enemies. And the next tower is the Scout. The Scout is a pretty okay tower, in all honesty. It's bad to like kinda upgrade, but if you use it correctly, it's going to be good. And also, Golden Pyromancer, the first Golden Tower on this tier list. It's like the same as normal Pyromancer, there's no difference. Like, it has more range, but it's not going to be much of a difference unless in the new event. Okay, we are in the B tier. The first tower is going to be the Executioner. Pretty good tower, that's all about it. The next one is Militant. It's also a pretty good tower now. It's like, it might go to A tier, but it's like, it's not as good to go to the E tier, to the A tier, but it's like still good to be in the B. The next one is also military base, and the Ranger. The Ranger got kinda screwed over after some updates. It's like kinda bad now. Also the Soldier and the Golden Soldier. There's also almost no difference between these two. They are good for the early game. And the next one is the Golden Cowboy. It gives more money and it deals more damage, so it's just a better version of normal Cowboy. And the next one is also a turret. Turret is kinda bad, but it got better after those updates. But it's still not a very good tower to use. You have better options. The next one is also Pursuit. It also got nerfed pretty heavily. And the next one is also Sledger. There's a lot of towers in this tier, by the way. Sledger is like a good tower, but I actually never use it. Also another tower is Toxic Gunner. Toxic Gunner is bad for slowing down enemies now, but early game wise it's still pretty good. We also have the Golden Scout, and the Golden Scout is actually pretty good. We have two last tiers. The A tier is like very good towers, they're like good every time you use them. So the first one is Ace Pilot, a pretty overpowered tower. The sad thing is that it's not as good in Fallen or Molten mode as it is in Hardcore mode, because if you use it in the Molten or Fallen mode, it's still going to take forever to actually finish the match. But it's still a pretty solid tower. The next one is the Minigunner. Minigunner is like very decent now. And the Golden Crook Boss. Golden Crook Boss has very good summons. It also has a lot of DPS. It's much better compared to the normal Crook. And we also have Swarmer, which this is the tower I love. This tower can deal so much DPS. The only problem is that you need a lot of Swarmers to actually glitch this tower out. And we also have the Shotgunner. The Shotgunner got reworked, so it was already good, but it's now much better. And that's for all for the A tier. The S tier is like, the towers are like the best towers in the game. If you have them, just use them. And the first one is Gladiator. This tower is actually like amazing, not only in the early game but also in the mid game. It can deal with bosses very easily if you spam it enough, and it can just spam kill pretty much everything except for like a tank on wave 30 on Fallen mode. The only bad thing about this tower is that it sucks in hardcore, but that's all. That's about it. The next one is Commando. Commando is it just gives you more DPS, a lot of more DPS. It's like, it used to give much more, but it's still a very good tower to have. Same as DJ. DJ is also a support tower. It gives a lot of range, very useful for the towers that they don't have like a lot of range, like Accelerator, which is also in the S tier. It also gives a discount. DJ gives a discount, so use him whenever you can. Another tower is the Engineer. A very good tower with the shields is ST. If it still didn't have the shields, I would have put it in like A or even maybe B, but it has shields now, it's in ST. Also another tower, Medic. Medic is kinda useless on the like level between levels 0 and 4, but on level 5 it can heal your towers, which is amazing, very good for speedruns and very good for the game overall. Also we have farm. What do I have to say about the farm? It gives you money, that's all about it. And the last tower is the Golden Minigunner. Golden Minigunner is like just the much better version than the normal Minigunner, and normal Minigunner is already very good, and this tower is just a joke. This tower is actually like way too OP. And that's all about it. That's my like final tier list. I'm looking at it and I would maybe make some changes, like maybe put turret to the C2 and maybe put soldier to like also C2, but that's all about it. I think we are done here. So thank you for watching and let me know if you agree or not.